What's up, guys? Artilla Boy here. Today we're doing another video. Today we're taking a look at the K-Bar Pestilence Chopper. Let's begin. So, if you could probably know, we're actually going to be doing this whole video, or rather, my plan for when I get the other pieces, which we'll talk about things like this guy in particular. But these guys were introduced in 2011, which they actually have 4 of these pieces. One in particular is the Pestilence Chopper, or rather 6 of them, if you count in things like the Atron Skeleton Knife, which right here. The Charon, which that's the folder. And then we got to the main 4 big guys. The Pestilence Chopper, the Death Dagger, which we'll talk about that later. The Famine Tanto, which that one's another. And the War Sword, which I'll get that, and we'll talk about that. But first is the beginner's piece, the Pestilence Chopper. Now, let's talk about the sheath itself. Now, the sheath itself is made out of nylon with a plastic insert. Have a little, another sheath for the skeleton knife right here. A little pocket inside for things like the handles, the screws, to switch over for the black handles, which that does not came with it, unfortunately. Some paracord right here. And, of course, that's about it. And, of course, this is the 2 buttons to secure the handle of the blade, or securing the entire blade itself. Now we'll talk about the skeleton knife on a separate review, so, well, just stay tuned for that piece. But the chopper itself, which, if you could probably know, this version, the one I have, is the later version, because when they first started, that was in 2011, they had made out of SK5 high carbon steel. And the later ones, which all the blades are in the Orland, New York. So this one in particular is made out of 1085 Crovan steel. Of course, you got the K-Bar ZK and the American flag right here. And here is the product number of it, 5702. And the earlier ones wouldn't have the hook itself, with this little hook right here. And that's about it for it. Oh yeah, another addition to the sheath I mentioned in my Swabby and my Zomstro. Here's the logo for the Zombie Killers collection, the biohazard symbol with the Z and a K right here. We got big old belt loops right here, and a belt loop right in here too, and downwards for things like molly webbing. Another one right here, again molly webbing, and there with the molly webbing to it. Now let's get to the blade itself. And the blade itself looks kind of similar, right? Well, it actually is kind of interesting because this particular version, this blade shape, is kind of similar to the World War II pilot folding machete from Camelus and Case XX, which those are actually based on that design. The handles can actually be taken off and replaced it with a black handles, which I did mention it did not came with it. But you can switch it with an orange ones and the brown ones if you got the Johnson Adventure blade lines. So the size of the blade is around about... Actually, around about like 9 3/4 right here. While the handle around is about 5.5 inches. But the overall size on the pestilence chopper is around about... Actually, almost to 15 3/4. So, let's test this bad boy out. So the results out there is, look at that. That's a cut. I think it's because of the edge alignment for me. Decided not going full clean cut, but for that results and for that, you know, how heavy the thing is, that's a big heavy hitter on that one. For also the bottle itself kind of had that curve to it. That's insane for that. That's really crazy. For the harder plastic, it completely destroyed. Like, completely got destroyed on that. Really good. For, like, chopping the thing, that a perfect seam to it. That actually, perfect seaming on the whole bottle itself. Which that is just insane to see that. And now we get to the jug itself, which, our first strike, which was also practically insane. So here's our first strike on that, which you could see from. That's a pretty good cut on that. That's a very insane. Unfortunately, I have to stop on the production or stop the video because the thing fell off and I had to refill it, because that's it dumped all the water out, so that's practically insane to see it in here. But talk about the chop itself. The strike down, actually almost, look at that, almost to the like a finger, or rather almost to a thumb size of chopping the whole bottle itself, which was practically insane to see that. Oh boy, I gotta say this about it here. For the price on it, and also by how inexpensive and very easy to get by, I'm giving the K-Bar Zombie Killers collection, the Pestilence Chopper, astounding of a 10 out of 10. A very much of a big, brutal blade to have. A very awesome piece, and I would highly recommend it. Even it actually is very easy to find this guy online, so that's a very cool thing. So that wraps up of the K-Bar Zombie Killers Collection Pestilence Chopper. I'm Artillboy, and I'm signing out. I see you guys next time.